Steamlord the Ink Mechanic, written by the Psychopath. Chapter 14. Special Secret Operation. Steamlord and the knights had left to find the ink mechanic again, and while this was happening, the entire ship had been left in its dark and dreary state of loneliness, save for two characters that remained behind. Centurion had stayed behind, not because Steamlord wanted it to guard the ship, but because it has started to develop mechanical tics reminiscent of when the three knights started to become sentient. It stood in front of the medical room where Sunrise had been nursed back to health during her young years. The door was wide open and said dragon was looking at the table with nostalgia. She would occasionally pass a claw across it for reasons unknown to the permanent resident. When she thought about it, Steamlord himself did not change since he adopted her on this table. Would he live forever? Would she?
What troubles you, Sunrise? You do not wish to proceed?
I still do, it's just I'm simply reminiscing.
I do not comprehend this nostalgia concept that many organics talk about.
And pray that you do not.
As an AI, I am incapable of religious customaries. I can create a deity if need be to commence false prayers.
But you still have a sense of humor. Now, about the procedure.
Yes, you have already undergone this procedure 5 times previously. As an added measure, I have taken DNA samples from previous iterations. I have concluded from the recent batch that your immunity to a disease fatal to dragons in all cases is not due to a genetic adaptation passed down from the parents, but that you are the first step on the evolutionary chain of dragonkind. The disease is, therefore, incapable of infecting you properly, and your immunitary system has managed to create antibodies. This means that your blood cannot be synthesized to create cures for other draconian species, subspecies, and cousins. Furthermore, as an evolutionary step, your genes are extremely susceptible to outside manipulations. Keeping your previous DNA samples allows me to create a failsafe and revert any changes. However, even if these changes are applied, doing so will cause Steamlord to become suspicious. I suggest you remain as you are.
We've already talked over this. I want to be more like him.
By injecting yourself with human DNA and having them applied to your genetic sequence and have your molecular structure rebuilt by the nanomachines to accommodate? Previous studies of literature has deemed one to be cautious. If ever you were to obtain offspring, they could develop into a vast culture that would...
I won't be having children! Now just get on with the process. This is the last one, right?
Affirmative. All traits linked to mammal reproduction traits have been cast out to allow only skeletal readaptations and more forming. Their draconic features are implemented and remain as always. In essence, you are becoming a humanoid dragon, but each operation can have dire consequences.
Sunrise got onto the table and lied down readying herself. I trust you completely, SS. Let's do this.
Arms lowered from the ceiling and began disinfecting certain spots on the dragon's body and readied some syringes for their intended role. Centurion looked at the scene from the corner of the doorway. Despite his static posture and emotionless face, he seemed uneasy with the prospect of the dragon mutating her body to look more like her father, but it was her choice.
Well, here we have the final chapter of Steamlord the Ink Mechanic. If you liked it, hit that like button and subscribe, and here is your daily dose of brainwashing! Bye!